New Schick Hydro versus the lube strip. With a hydrating gel reservoir that gives you 40% less friction. So it's designed like no other razor to protect from irritation. Sorry, lube strip. Schick Hydro. Free your skin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Action and Adventure, the Hasbro Universe podcast. And today, we're bringing you a special bonus episode because, we wanted to try having weekly content, but we can't really do that with the format of the main podcast. So we're going to try these little bonus episodes. They won't be all the time, but you'll get them on occasion when there's something maybe outside of the main purview, or we want to go back and read something and just sort of give you guys a little extra bit. And this week we were treated to a great treat that we had to give this its own episode.
We're going to be talking about Schick Hydrobot and the Transformers, a new friend. So this is a last night cross-promotional issue by IDW. So it's still within our purview to a degree.
Yeah.
And it is a cross-promotional free digital comic about Schick Hydrobot, the pre-existing transforming promotional mascot for Schick razor blades, meeting the Transformers.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's the thing, like, when those commercials first started, it's like, oh, it's a Transformer, like, they've got to do some sort of, like, cross-promotion with the next Transformers movie. It's like, so it's like the fact that this actually happened, I didn't expect this to actually happen, though. It's like, let alone a comic written by John Barber, with pencils by Steve Kurth, and a cover by Sarah Petre Drocher, I believe it's. Is that how it's pronounced?
I am not sure.
Okay.
I would not like to make a fool on that.
But yes, putting John Barber, like, one of our favorite writers, like, on this book, it's like...
But John Barber back on the movieverse. Like,
yes!
Dream scenario. I am all about this.
Yeah. So...
And gosh, it is a very good issue. Like, there have been... You will sometimes get cross-promotional comics that are not really much of anything. Like, there is a very short cross-promotional Cheetos Transformers comic from Age of Extinction, which I know because I Google translated it to write up for the Transformers wiki. And it was like a few pages, and it is just, there's a Cheetos promotion going on, and Chester the Cheeto and the Transformers want you to take part in it, pretty much.
Huh.
But this is an actual 20-page, so full length, kind of comic that, aspires to be an actual comic, and
yes,
really good.
Yeah, and can I just say, like, I am someone who actually uses Schick Hydro. Like, I was using one, like, before, like, the whole Hydrobot thing, so it's like, so I did not buy it just because of its transforming robot. But the fact that now it's like my razor could go and, like, have adventures with the Transformers is, like, amazing to me, and I kind of, so, like, now, like, every time I go to shave, I just, like, look at it and I'm like, are you a robot?
I believe, actually, because I hadn't heard of the brand before, but I think, judging by an alternate version of the TV ad I came across on YouTube, I believe in the UK, Schick is sold as Wilkinson's Sword.
Wilkinson's Sword?
Yeah.
That's a way cooler name. It's like you're shaving your face with a sword.
I think the logo is like some swords and stuff, which is probably a lot cooler than the name Schick, which is just.
I think I assume Schick is like a family name or something.
Yeah.
Like, should we go through, like, the plot, or like?
Yeah. Do you want to go? Because I've not read this one since it came out.
Yeah. Okay.
It's fresh in your memory, no doubt.
Yeah. All right. So, basically, it opens with narration by Bumblebee over, which is interesting because it's like, because this is movie Bumblebee, a character who doesn't really get to talk. So the fact that we get to hear his internal monologue is really cool. as we see the Schick Hydrobot transform from his Razor mode and goes out and he saves a guy from some what appears to be Decepticons, because they're evil robots.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and this is a movie verse, so it's like, yeah, so Decepticons. Only to be stopped by a giant green truck, and which, of course, is Hound and Optimus Prime. So the Autobots and Bumblebee, Bumblebee joins them. So the Autobots attack the Hydrobot thinking he is a Decepticon, and they try to talk with him, but he's not really a chatty bunch. So they follow him back to the Schick headquarters, where Dr. Benson is a scientist trying to build the ultimate razor. And can I just say, this guy, he is like...
Yeah.
Like, he's exactly what this comic needed, which is a very serious character who is very serious about his razor blades. You know, he's like, you know, he looks at Hound and he says, "A mechanical beard? What sort of technology could possibly trim that?" It's like, you know. So yes, they follow the Hydro Serum, which the Schick Hydrobot uses to move around in, to the Schick, and they ask him about the Hydrobot, and he explains the origin of the Hydrobot, which is honestly far more complicated than I think anyone was originally thinking.
I'm really tempted to read aloud the narration from this sequence because it's perfect.
Please do.
So, perhaps I should introduce myself. I am Dr. Hiroshi Benson, head of the Schick R&D laboratory. I have dedicated my life to the pursuit of mankind's most important goal, building the perfect razor. 6 months ago, I had perfected what I believed to be a means to that end, H-Boostium, a synthetic chemical I knew required special handling due to its life-saving lubricating properties. It was all going perfectly, until it wasn't. The spark was small. The results were anything but. I remember the concussive wave, my teeth rattling, my disappointment that I would never see future generations of razors come to fruition. The fire spread, but I was unaware. I can only guess what must have happened. The H-Boostium, freed from its magnetic field, began searching for a host. Don't know if it's alive, but the H-Boostium rejected me, instead finding its way to an advanced prototype Hydro Razor. The gel reservoir of the source of the Hydro Serum must have enticed the H-Boostium. For what more does anything want but a clean, smooth, comfortable shave? That part made perfect sense. What surprised me was his dedication to protect all who shave. The H-Boostium had combined with the razor to create someone new. Hydrobot. Yes, I named him Hydrobot, and if not for him, I would have died that day. I had so many questions, but more than anything, I just wanted to thank him. Yet he was gone, never to be seen again.
I actually had to mute my microphone because I started laughing out loud so much. But it's it's actually that's the thing. This comic is hilarious, but it's actually a really cool kind of hilarious. Just because the hilarity just comes from the fact that you're talking about a razor, but in such serious terms. But it's
it plays it absolutely straight.
I know, and it's
complete deadpan, and it's brilliant.
It's glorious, yes. So anyway, right as Dr. Benson finishes the story, of course, who should show up but the Decepticons, led by Megatron, which, of course, this is movie. This is the last night Megatron, so he's rocking his Tusk battle mask design, which I really dig. I think it's really cool.
It's great, yeah.
Oh, it's great. I love it. And Barricade, who is somehow still alive, which good on it. Honestly, I love Barricade is probably was one of the really new original characters from the first movie.
Everyone loves Barricade.
And
Barricade's
yeah, he's great. So I love that he's coming back for the fifth movie. It's like it looks like all the odd numbered movies Barricade will be in. So, and of course, the brand new character Onslaught. So
yes, in his Onslaught's first fictional appearance in Schick Hydrobot and the Transformers, that is what goes first on his wiki article.
Yep.
Schick Hydrobot and the Transformers, Onslaught. It's his debut appearance.
Yep.
And he's a guy who looks like Long Haul. But
yeah. I mean, in a lot, in some superficial ways, he has the, but he has the big claw on.
He does, yeah.
That, so.
I was kind of like, wait, what? When I saw that in the comic, but it is there, and the small screenshots we've seen of him in the film.
Yeah. So anyways, the Hydrobot shows up to help the Autobots take down the Decepticons, and he and Bumblebee really get along, which is pretty great. But apparently Megatron needs Dr. Benson's shaving technology in order to build his Energon. Was it called the Energon?
I'm trying to find the dialogue now. His Energon convertible strip Earth clean, leaving nothing but ruin.
Yes. Yeah. So yes, and apparently the person he needed to do that was a guy who builds razors.
Yeah.
But hey. So anyways, after an epic battle, the Autobots and the Hydrobot managed to take down the Decepticons, forcing them to retreat. So, Onslaught's very first fictional appearance, he retreats from a razor.
Yep.
Can't tell if that's awesome or sad, honestly.
Well, I doubt Onslaught is thrilled about it.
Next time, Autobots, this isn't over, says Barricade.
And then Bumblebee and Hydrobot fist bump.
Yes, and they are. It's great. And of course, as the sun comes up, Hydrobot has to return back to the person's home where he is staying because he has to fulfill his own mission of a clean shave. For there's somebody looking out for us, a hero like no other, and his name is Hydrobot.
It's
Yes.
That's the thing. The issue plays it completely straight, with complete straight face the entire time, and that's that's what makes it so great. With this kind of thing, you could kind of just phone it in, the Razor robot, and he fights some people. Oh yeah, look, it's very exciting, but it kind of goes incredibly silly, but with a complete straight face, and it's great.
Yeah. I mean, overall, it's a fun issue. I mean, it's silly, but it's fun. We get to see some nice little character bits from Bumblebee. I actually really like, the fact that Bumblebee's sort of narrating the story.
Yeah.
And he talks about how, it's how, how his vocal processor was damaged, and so he can only communicate through the radio. So it's really cool to see that.
It was a bit of a John Barber thing, isn't it? The internal narration from one character.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'll say of the art, the lines are mostly fine. There are a few shots of the robots that are really obviously referenced / traced from stock renders. But the how many different colorists on this issue? 6 different colorists on this issue, and some of them are fine, and some of them are phoning it in. Oh, Christ! Which pages? The page.
Let's see.
A couple of there's maybe 3 pages during the big fight sequence that just look terrible.
Yeah,
someone coloured them in sort of paint with a fill tool, basically.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing the pages that you're talking about, and it's not great.
Some of them look lovely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some of them are by Joanna Lofente, so I assume those are some of the better pages.
Yeah, like the flashback sequence, and like when like that shot of like at the end of the flashback sequence with Optimus, Bumblebee, and Hound looking at Dr. Benson. It's like that's actually like a really good detailed shot, and like it's really well colored. But it's like like some of the later pages are.
It is as variable as you would expect an issue with 6 colorists to be.
Yeah, which, I mean, I have to wonder, why 6 colorists? Like,
I assume it was a deadlines thing.
Yeah.
Like,
this was like, okay, we'll just send out a chunk of pages to...
Yeah. Like, I assume all 6 were colouring it simultaneously. Yeah. 2 inkers as well.
Yeah, so... There was also, I wanted to touch on this, a Q&A with John Barber and Steve Kurth at the back of the book. That sort of, it's like, you know, and it's pretty basic kind of stuff. It's like, hi, John, tell us how you got started writing Transformers comics. And it's like, how do you typically start writing a story like this? But it's actually, like, something I wanted to point out was, it's actually pretty interesting because it sort of gets into the writing process. But it's also, like, there's, like, one question is, capturing Hydrobot's unique personality must have been a challenge, especially since he can't speak. How did you approach writing him? And then John's reply was, it's actually extra tricky. Not only doesn't Hydrobot talk, his face is razor blades. You can't have facial expressions, which means the main tools for showing emotion are missing. And when you see the guy in action, the silence is important to the character. So it felt like a cheat to use the captions to get into his head. On top of all that, Bumblebee can't talk either. So we have 2 characters that can't say what they're thinking. But writing a comic book is more than words. It's about the actions. You know, it's like, and all that. And he also mentions that that Schick already had the origin story figured out, of course.
Oh my goodness, wow.
So yeah.
I have not read these in full. I'd only skimmed them, I think.
So yeah, Barber, like, this shows that John Barber, like, you ask him to do something, he ain't gonna half-ass it. He is actually, like...
Oh, yeah.
He does not half-ass things. It's like, he whole-asses them, you know?
Indeed.
It's completely. But it's like the fact, and honestly, that's the thing that cracked me up, was the fact that he said Schick already had the origin story figured out. So it's like... So, apparently, the Schick marketing folks, when they created Hydrobot, created an origin for him. We were going to get the origin of Hydrobot was going to be told either way, whether Transformers were involved in or not. And it's like, that's kind of amazing to me.
Does this mean, though, that all other kind of TV ads and such featuring the Hydrobot are all part of kind of one unified Hydrobot continuity, part of the Transformers canon? Because I will say there is
Hydrobot wiki.
There is a specific Transformers The Last Night Hydrobot commercial in which Optimus Prime destroys a person's house in order to fist bump Hydrobot. Like, they're really good friends now. To the point that
Oh my god, I have to find this.
Wait, is it the same guy from this issue whose house the Hydrobot is living in? Yeah, very possibly.
Oh my gosh, I'll find it later. But oh my gosh, that sounds like amazing.
Literally, Optimus Prime punches his fist through the wall into the bathroom of this poor man in order to fist bump Hydrobot.
Yeah. But yeah, and then of course the last question that John gets is, one last thing: Hydrobot versus Hound's beard. Who would win? Hound's had that beard for an awful long time. It probably knows some tricks. I think Hydrobot would need a lot of experience to tackle that mission. John Barber is a treat. Like, I got the chance to meet him at NC Comic Con this past year, and let me just say, he's a super cool guy. Like, John, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on the show sometime. Yeah, and then of course,
there's a Steve Kurth interview afterwards.
Yeah, which talks about his sort of history and again his history and all that. How he draws Transformers. Drawing Drawing Hydrobot must have been fun. Does his smaller size present any unique challenges when drawing him next to giant Transformers? Drawing him was fun, and it did in fact present the occasional problem given that he's so small in general, let alone compared to a 3-story robot. I used a lot of low angles, not only to show how everything towered over him, but sometimes out of necessity because it was the only way where you'd actually successfully see him being able to interact with another character. You don't want a bird's eye looking down at Optimus and Hydrobot standing on the ground having a conversation, which we couldn't do anyway, since I don't think Hydrobot can talk. Yet.
And interestingly, this issue it talks about a comic being a motion comic, so I assume that's going to appear on Schick's website or something at some point. A motion comic version, kind of all animated and such.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if they're saving that for after last night.
Yeah. True. I will also say that there's also some pencil sketches kind of put through this. Pencil kind of details from the issue. I also got to say the inking did not do those pencil lines any favors.
And we do see some of the inks from Juan Castro and so yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, like, there's not a ton to say about this other than like what we've already said about it, but it's like, it's a fun little issue, and honestly, like, I think everyone should go out and read it, especially because you don't have to pay for it. It's like
it's free.
It's literally free. Like, we'll probably include a link in the episode description, so that people can go and read it for themselves. But it's, I mean, it is a great it's a fun little comic.
Because actually thinking about it, there was something similar with Age of Extinction. IDW did a How to Train Your Dinobot comic tying into those web cartoons that Hasbro.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And that was John Barber as well, I believe. Actually, I have that here in the same folder. Yeah, actually, John Barber again.
Yeah.
And so continuing the tradition of, I guess, fun little promotional tie-in comics.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I gotta say, the cover is like, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the cover is great.
Oh yeah, like Sarah's stuff is always nice.
Oh yeah, it's like it's actually a really great. It's like it's Optimus, and we see all the detail of that, and then it's like Schick Hydro, right there. Yeah. So honestly, go download this comic and like read it. Just like, if you're bored, like on the subway or or just it's a fun little read, and I'm sure you'll get a kick out of it. We certainly did. So.
Oh yes, indeed.
Yes. So yeah. That's definitely a good last night primer. I am ready for the last night, which who knows? Yeah. Maybe we'll do an episode on that, since that is since that's
and I think it was nice to have John Barber writing a movie-verse comic again, even if inconsequential. Because I think I said this last time, but those are some really good comics, the John Barber movie comics.
Yeah, it really is a shame that that they kind of, like, one of the explanations I heard for why IDW stopped doing movie comics was that Michael Bay didn't like how they spoiled the information in the
I
spoiled
think
the movie. I don't know how accurate that is, because I don't know how much.
Well, I think it is it's confirmed for fact that the reason they stopped happening is that the studio stopped cooperating with licensees. So the reason why they stopped cooperating, who knows? But basically, the upshot was that if IDW had wanted to do, say, an Age of Extinction prequel, they would have had to do so without any access to the script for Age of Extinction, which, would not have resulted in anything in any way meaningful.
Yeah, because the movie comics since the 2007 movie have ranged from to really good. So and most of the really good ones written by John Barber, like Sector 7. I really like I really like the Sector 7 comics. So Yeah. So honestly, it is kind of like I would have loved to have seen some comic tie-ins to like Age of Extinction, especially like stuff like the Dinobots, which had like nothing written about them. It's like,
well, that's the kind of thing where
that's one of the things that
gone
made
wild.
the comics cool, was that it sort of filled in the gaps, you know. You know, like I remember reading Reign of Starscream shortly after the '07 movie happened. It's like, oh, this is like what happened afterwards. It was cool, you know.
Although I do fear that had there been Age of Extinction tie-in comics, The Last Night would have probably ended up contradicting them anyway.
True, yeah.
John Barber had a hard enough time of it trying to kind of reconcile the Revenge of the Fallen tie-in comics with the Dark and Moon stuff Foundation, and with Last Night kind of retooling everything about the story team thing. I can well imagine that would have not gone.
Last Night is kind of chucking out all the established comic history, but
oh well, I mean, it's not quite chucking out in the sense that I don't think people making films are ever really aware of that stuff in the first place. But it certainly is not at all compatible with any of them. No.
It's definitely, we've got two separate kind of universes going on. It's like,
you kind of have to say there's an IDW movie universe that's kind of the original trilogy, quote unquote, plus the IDW comics, and then a film only universe that continues beyond Dark the Moon.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Well, I mean, that'll pretty much wrap it up for this episode. So, alrighty. So yeah, this was fun. We should do more of these bonus episodes more often. So. Yeah.
Certainly when the opportunity presents itself, when we get neat things like these. Because, and I hope we do get more neat things like this.
Oh my gosh, yes, please. So, yes. So,
we'll see what comes along.
Yes. Enjoy your shaves, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye.
New Wilkinson Sword Hydro 5 versus the Loop Strip. The hydrating gel reservoir gives instant lubricating protection. Designed like no other, it protects from irritation. Sorry, Loop Strip. New Hydro 5 from Wilkinson Sword. Wilkinson Sword, free your skin.